Hey, Street Fighter here at Formula D. We're at the practice and last qualifying day here with Tanner Foust. Thanks for meeting us.
Yeah, of course.
So right now in first place. So give us a scoop. You gonna hold on to first place?
Well, I don't know. You know, the politically correct answer is that, you know, there's a brutal amount of competition out here. Samuel's he's in the Viper. He's maybe 23 or 22 points behind me, which is the difference between about first and third. So if he wins, I need to get on the podium, is what that means. Then you got Reese, 20 some odd points behind Samuel, putting the pressure on Samuel. And then another 20 points back from Reese is his teammate Daijiro. So it's I mean, it's a pretty spectacular battle. It's pretty evenly spaced. I just need to make sure that I'm standing on one of the 3 podium boxes at the end of the weekend. This practice has been tough already. I've already hit the wall twice yesterday.
With the rear?
With the rear, yeah. It's like, you know, what happens is that you get some rubber down on the track,
yeah,
and it gets very, very grippy. But all the shavings from the rubber build up against the wall, and there's a distance of about this much,
yeah,
just about 8 inches to a foot of just padded rubber powder. And when the car
kind of go up,
yeah, when the car gets up there,
yeah,
and it just starts to wisp that stuff out, that gets on, the tires get on top of it, and it sucks you into the wall hard, and you just have to try to increase the angle really big so that you hit it with the back bumper.
How does it pull you into the wall?
Well, I mean, all your force is pulling you up the bank.
Yeah.
And once you start losing grip by floating on top of that powder,
gotcha,
you just it feels like it's just grabbed the car and it's pulling you. And all you can do at that point is really increase the angle and just try to let it bounce off the back bumper. Yeah. Otherwise, if you take it in the side of the car, like in the tire, it'll slap the front into the wall too. And yeah, we saw a car get totaled yesterday actually doing that. So this is the Rockstar AEM 350Z, and the heart of any drift car really is in the engine. This is called a VQ35, which is actually the base platform that comes with the 350Z. AEM really wanted to keep to the roots there, but it's all built up and blueprinted by Papadakis Racing with twin Garrett turbos, and it's putting out about 500 horsepower and 500 foot-pounds of torque to the wheels, which is enough. Basically, the minimum in drifting is really to be able to spin the tires in 4th gear, which is about 110 miles an hour wheel speed. Inside the car, though, inside the car, you know, there are a lot of tools that you get in a drift car that you wouldn't normally have in a road race car. First, you see this giant handbrake. This actually has its own hydraulic lines to its own calipers in the rear. So it's very, very powerful. Even at 100 miles an hour, you can be driving along, turn the wheel, put the clutch in, pull the handbrake, and it locks up the back tires and gets you sideways. We run a stock transmission in the Rockstar car, believe it or not, right out of the Nissan parts truck, and you know, all the AEM gauges and everything obviously help out, but the strongest thing in here that you notice really is all the safety gear. And with drifting, it's real easy to kind of hook a tire, flip over, hit a wall, flip over, do something else, flip over, and so it's nice to have this baby right there. Now the cars, believe it or not, have to be really lightweight. I mean, there are a lot of counterintuitive parts about the car. You think, well, you're drifting, why do you want a lot of traction and why do you want to have a lightweight car? Well, you really need, once you're sideways, to be able to accelerate and put all the power to the ground. That's where you get the control. Even if you're going to spin out, you can accelerate, squat, put grip on the back tires, and that'll keep you from spinning out. It's kind of counterintuitive. So that's why you run the aero, really helps you there, almost like a parachute to keep the car from spinning. A lot of lightweight gear, but probably one of the most important things are the tires, and we run these really sticky Toyos to generate as much forward bite as you possibly can. These are actually very soft. You can almost rip the rubber off and chew it like gum, but it's a very important part of going fast sideways.
Big question I have is, why drifting? Why are you attracted to this version, to this sport?
Drifting is one of the last motorsports that I know of, where one of the few motorsports where you can get good relationships with sponsors, really without spending much of your own money. And most motorsports, you really have to dig at it for years and years in order to get enough, to get in the limelight enough to really attract sponsors.
You get Joe's Drive Shaft Shop, who sponsors you first, and then you kind of work your way up to your dad's buddies.
Yeah, you're like, oh man, it'd be nice if we had some stickers on the car, so you get a vinyl sponsor, and they put their own stickers on the car. And it's a never-ending cycle. But with drifting, really, and I was lucky enough to have a lot of practice growing up and teaching ice driving for 8 years to military and stuff like that. I got a lot of practice sideways. So when I heard that drifting was coming to the U.S. as a sport, I got involved and was able to be fairly competitive fairly early. And I did rally racing and I did road racing and I did these other forms of motorsport. But drifting was one where you could take the tools that you had as a driver and actually make money with them. Where most motorsports, that's just not the case. There are a lot of fast guys that are not winning races because they can't afford to.
So is this about the money then?
Well, at first, let's be honest. At first, as a self-funded racer, you got to make a business at it, and making a living behind the steering wheel is a straight-up business. And there are a lot of aspects you have to diversify in that business in order to really make a living.
So, what racing are you most passionate about?
Well,
like if I said, I'm going to throw you into a car and we're going to go on a track, what would it be?
Don't get me wrong. I love doing the drifting. It's super, super fun, and it's super challenging, and
it's super technical. It's just
unbelievably technical. Even when they do films, there are thousands of stunt guys out there, and when they do films like Fast and the Furious or even Dukes of Hazzard, they really had to come to the competitive drifting world to get drivers to do that stuff. Because even out of the stunt drivers, there are some great drivers there, but there's a technique and there are some skill sets with drifting that you just don't use in other sports. So, but to answer your question, I would, rally racing is one of those things that has got a deep hook in me. It's when a rally is like basically doing 150 miles of a drift competition in a weekend.
And you can die. You can't die out here, so there's got to be like kind of that element to it, flying off the side of a mountain or something.
Yeah, there, instead of having walls and safety equipment, like fire crews ready to come get you, you've got trees in the middle of the woods, and they could probably...
Some guy on a donkey with a tow rope,
Yeah. I've been talking about getting into core racing for a while. I'd love to do it again. It's a business, so it's a matter of putting the deal together. Rockstar's very aggressive in core already, so it'd be really fun to come in and capitalize on what they've got.
Core is where you're basically starting off, everyone's lined up side by side, and you're basically drag racing to the first corner. If I remember correctly, is that?
It's kind of like rally racing. It's carrying momentum with a variety of surfaces. There's not a lot of practice time, so you really have to read the tracks quick. But you do the same couple-mile loop over and over, and so you can learn where the grip is, how to take certain jumps, what speed to take certain jumps, and the jumps are huge, which is something I'm not used to, so I'm looking forward to. And carrying momentum. So I really like that aspect of it. I just want to try something new and keep it going. I'm competing with my friends constantly. Reese and Samuel are some of my oldest friends, and once the helmet goes on, I don't want them to get hurt, but if they have something go wrong with the car, it's kind of like more power to our team. But and that kind of competitive friendship is a tension that makes people do things that they normally wouldn't do, and so we end up virtually trying to kill each other, even though we really get along.
Dude, I'd kill my friends out there. I'd put one of my buddies into the wall in a heartbeat. Well, Tanner, thank you very much for chatting with us today.
Absolutely,
and,
my pleasure.
Good luck.
Thanks.
You don't need it. You're in first place. Just keep doing what you're doing.
No, you always need luck. I need the luck. But thank you very much.